Hello Cancer, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Cancer for the week of October 10th. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go and take a look at what we have here for you, Cancer. Now I am using the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, the After Tarot, as well as the Kipper Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. Do hope you're doing well. Hope things are going good for you. Make sure we're all set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it. All right. I think that's looking just about good enough to me. Please do hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow in a big way. All right. Cool. Cancer, energy on the bottom. You have the Two of Wands. So Two of Wands is all about choices, decisions, options, but along with that, recognizing that you have the entire world here in the palm of your hand. There are so many, you have options, right? You have an abundance of choice, you have an abundance of options. There are many pathways that you could go down. And it's that feeling, you know how that is. It's that feeling when you're like, man, I'm unstoppable. I can do all of these sorts of things. It's sort of like that beginning kind of ramp up to that feeling and the recognition that there are so many different things that you could be doing. But the idea here is that you have to pick a path, right? Just because you have a lot of paths, just because you see all the doors in front of you, you see all the doors open in front of you, you can't walk through every door, right? You have to pick one door. And for you, the truth is that once you pick a door, once you decide to walk down a path or walk through a door, the universe will help you get to where you need to go. But if you don't go through the door, the universe can't help you. And it's almost like from the Matrix, and I'm sorry if I botch this, but Morpheus said, "I can only open the door for you. It is you who must walk through." And that is like one of my favorite quotes of all time, movie or otherwise, movie or not movie. And it's almost like for some of you here, you're looking at all the doors in front of you, and you're asking yourself, kind of, which one is it in the most alignment with me? And so let's go ahead and let's get some more details on this. First and foremost, I do have to say that there are kind of the Wands cards are sticking out to me here. You have three on the board plus a Wands card on the bottom. Otherwise, you have a Cup card, a Swords card, and a Pentacles card. Oh, you have two Swords. But anyway, the predominant energy here is Wands. So Wands connects to fire, connects to inspiration, enterprise, work, your career, kind of getting excited. It's the energy of energy. And there is a new energy here coming forward for you in the future. In fact, the future column here looks very, very good. But in the overall situation, you have this Four of Wands card. So this middle card here is important because it informs the rest of the cards. And the Four of Wands really says that stability is important to you, okay? You can see that four is a number of stability. And you can see that the family here is in a really nice situation. Actually, these people just got married. The Four of Wands is a card of marriage as well. It's not just about stability, but it's like stability in relationships, stability in your life, stability in work. It's foundations and achievements. It's also celebration. And along with that, the Four of Wands, it's not just about celebration, it's also potentially about a new start. Because when you get married, for example, marriage is a new start between you and another person. And there is this new start, this fresh energy here for you. This is probably connected to work. I don't see a whole lot of love messages here. I see a lot of self-love on the board, which is great. But, I don't know if I see new love between you and another person, so to speak, here. We do have the Ace in the future, but it's not the Ace of Cups. And so for you, this could be you maybe connecting with your love for your work, your love for your career, your love for yourself, And there's just new start energy here. Now, in the past, you have the Five of Pentacles, you have the Temperance card, and you also have the Eight of Swords here showing up. So the Five of Pentacles says that in the past here, for some of you, you have been engaged in scarcity mindset. The upper row is the row of your thoughts. The Five of Pentacles is about scarcity. When I get the Five of Pentacles in the upper row, this is about your scarcity mindset. This is about you playing small. When you get the Five of Pentacles in the upper row, it is not time to play small, it is time to play big. What are the possibilities, Cancer? What is out there for you when you get this energy? Along with that, you have the Temperance card, which is about balance. It is the card of Sagittarius. And this card asks you to heal something or balance something out in your life. And when you get this Temperance card, you can see that this person's dipping their toe in this pool of water. Well, the pool of water heals them. It's a healing pool of water. And so where are you dipping your toes right now? What do you have your hands kind of in right now? Like, I'm kind of getting, as soon as I said dipping your toes in the water, I had this idea in my mind around like your hand in the cookie jar. Like, what different cookie jars do you have your hand in right now? Like your hands in right now? Like, what areas of your life are you sort of dipping into and dipping in and out of right now? Because I feel like for some of you, you may want to really balance something out here, okay? Like if you are too heavy in one direction or the other, you may want to kind of balance that out. Or if you feel like you need a break, or you feel like you need to maybe do some self-care, or whatever the case is, it's like, I feel like some of you here in the past have been doing this. I also think some of you here are balancing out some sort of like negative thinking or negative inclination towards scarcity here, because you have this Eight of Swords in the lower row. The Eight of Swords says that you are creating self-limiting beliefs, okay? You have self-imposed restrictions in your life. This is not something that somebody is doing to you, okay? This is something that you are doing to you when you get the Eight of Swords. And this is connected to your thoughts, okay? In this case, with the Eight of Swords down here, the Five of Pentacles up there. And yeah, I feel that pretty heavily for you at this time. So you're balancing something out. I think right now, it's not a time to play small. I think it's a time to play big. I think it's a time to really dream. And yeah. Now, in the current situation, you have the Nine of Cups, you have the Four of Wands, and you also have the Nine of Wands. So you have these two nines here. For me, 9 is like a really nice number, but it also means that there could be one extra level that you could get to, because in the tarot, there's a 10, right? Each one of these suits has a number 10 in it. And so for you, it's like there is an extra gear available to you, Cancer. And it's like, I think the only question is, do you want to drive in that gear or not? With this Nine of Wands here, the Nine of Wands says that you are maybe plateauing, or you've hit a sort of bump in the road. But the important part is, when you get the Nine of Wands, it's very, very important that you do not give up with this card, because it says you're basically there. And the worst thing you could do when you get the Nine of Cups is giving up. Because your goal is almost there. You're almost at the 10. And, this may mean that you need to set boundaries with some people in your life, because the Nine of Wands can be a card of like resistance, or just maybe there's somebody in your life who's annoying you and you may need to set a boundary with this person. That could certainly be the case here. There's this thing about stability for you that seems pretty important with the Four of Wands in the middle. I don't know. I think that this is probably less about relationships. I think this is probably stability in your life, like stability in your work, probably like work-life balance type of energy here with this Four of Wands and the Temperance card next to it. The other thing is you have this Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Cups here. So this person is content. Okay, they are satiated with their life. So on the opposite end, so the Nine of Wands is like persevere, right? The Nine of Wands is all about perseverance and not giving up. Nine of Cups is like, what you have now is sort of like nice, right? And, do you want to taste what it feels like to have the 10 of Cups is kind of the thing. This is also a card of your dreams or your wishes that could be fulfilled, or your dreams being fulfilled or your wishes being fulfilled. And it's like for some of you here, I almost feel like there's this real push-pull in your life here that needs some balancing right now. And there's something in your life here that you need to sort of like keep moving forward on. But then there's also this other area in your life here where it's like, I don't know, there's like a polarity here is kind of what I'm feeling for you. Cancer, there's like a polarity going on here between the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Wands, as well as with the Temperance energy, which is an energy of balance. In the future, you have the Ace of Wands, you have the Six of Swords, and you also have the Chariot. We'll get some more details on what that polarity might be as we go through and clarify. But yeah, that's something that I don't really get that message a lot, but it is kind of coming in here for you. Now, again, in the future, this looks very bright. The future looks very bright for you here, Cancer. The Ace of Wands is all about the spark of life. It is getting fired up. It's going in a new direction. It is a big card of like side hustles, starting businesses, getting physically started on it and actually doing it, like actually doing it, not just concepts in your mind, but actually physically getting started on the business. It is the spark that starts everything. You have this Six of Swords here, which is about being guided, okay? Guided forward, guided in a new direction. It's also a transition. And it can, in a more serious way, speak to rites of passage. And so some of you here may be going through a rite of passage in your life as well, where it's like, okay, this old land here is behind me, and I want to see what the new lands have for me. Like, I want to see what's on the horizon. I want to see what's out there. This is your card here. This is the card of Cancer in the tarot, the Chariot. This card talks about victory and success. The Chariot is somebody who's overcoming any obstacle that is in their way or in their path, and they are driving right through it, and there is nothing stopping them. And it's also this idea of as above, so below. You see the star pattern here on the canopy. That indicates the universe. The sphinxes indicate below. They indicate Earth. And so as it is done in the universe, it is done down here. As you put in the work, the universe will meet you halfway. And so sometimes, as long as we're doing everything that we can, the only thing that is left for you to do is to be guided. And that's kind of what I feel like is coming forward for you. Let's go and take a look at these cards here, these oracle cards. All right, so you have Privileged Lady, Occupation, Courtship, and Distant Horizons. So it is interesting, the Courtship and the Four of Wands, obviously the fours here connecting, Courtship's number 4, but courtship is like maybe there's somebody who's interested in you, okay? Or maybe you're interested in somebody. And, you can see the Cupid here in the background, right? That does suggest some type of romantic courting or interest from another person. Maybe somebody asks you out on a date, or you ask somebody out on a date, or whatever. There could be something like that going on here if you're single. You have this Privileged Lady, Occupation. That's interesting. So the Occupation card obviously connects to your work. Privileged Lady is somebody who lives a life of luxury. And, I do feel like some of you are like, I really want to make my career something that I wake up and love to do every day. Or maybe that's what you're doing right now. You have the Distant Horizons card, which says that there are good times ahead when you get the Distant Horizon card. It can also say that it can be like suggestive of things that are 3 to 6 months in the future as well. So yeah, but generally here, good times ahead when you get that Distant Horizons card. Let's go ahead and let's start to clarify. Now, I do appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you for being here. If you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps my channel out. So you have the Five of Pentacles clarifying the Five of Pentacles. You have the Three of Pentacles, and you also have the Six of Swords. So I really like this after tarot. It depicts or illustrates moments after the original illustration. So you can see here, this is a really good example. The Five of Pentacles is illustrating is clarifying the Five of Pentacles. So here we see there's another person involved. But the idea is that these people are persevering. Are there Are their situations ideal? No, they do not have an ideal situation, okay? But they are continuing forward. They're continuing their march through life, okay? And, you know, I'm sure that there are better, like I could come up with something even more prophetic here, but the idea is you have the Five of Pentacles clarifying itself, okay? You have a scarcity thing going on here from the past, and that is very clear. Spirit is saying that this is very clear to you. You have some sort of scarcity thinking that is showing up. This rarely happens to get the Five of Pentacles twice and for it to be in the upper row. So this is a very clear message here for some of you. Now, what's interesting is you have this Three of Pentacles as well. The statue is complete, okay, in this illustration. And notice this person, their basket is full of pentacles. And so this person's kind of admiring the work that they're doing. Keep working, okay? Also, this card speaks to teammates, teamwork, and colleagues, the Three of Pentacles, and it's with the Temperance card. So for some of you here, like you're really, there's something involving your team environment or the people that you work with that you're looking to kind of like strike a balance around. You have this Six of Swords as well. The Six of Swords is, as I said, you know, going through a transition. You have this card, well, they make it to C here. And so for you, I think, you know, there's this idea of you maybe making changes in what it is that you do, probably in your career here, very heavily being confirmed here. So you have the Five of Wands, you have the Three of Cups, and you have the Temperance card again. All right, so I'm going to say this to you, Cancer. I would be very careful of playing the comparison game here, okay? So you have two threes. Threes connect to other people. The Three of Pentacles is your work environment, your teammates. The Three of Cups is your social circle, the people you might spend your time with outside of work. Some of you might mix those two things. That's common in the United States, at least. People hang out with colleagues outside of work. Not always, but this is a common thing that happens. I'm not here to say that that's right or wrong. Some people have some strong opinions on that, but there is something here connected to those two things. I think there's a work-life balance that maybe needs to be had for some of you. I think some of you work very hard. I think some of you should sit back and admire the work that you do. There is a mental conflict here going on with this Five of Wands showing up in this upper row. And I said, remember this thing about polarity. Well, it's like I'm not really getting clarification here, because the Temperance is like balancing something out. And, you know, you have this Five of Wands in the upper row. There's some sort of like polarity between work. It's work-life balance. That's what it is. It's your work-life balance here that's showing up pretty heavily. So you have the High Priestess, you have the Queen of Cups, and you have the Ten of Wands. Take a break, right? Like rest. If you need to rest, I would say give yourself rest. Here with this Ten of Wands showing up, and you can see that this person is resting after a long journey, and they're resting after they've completed something. Tens represent completions in tarot. They have completed something, and they are giving themselves the space to heal, to recover. You have the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess. Both cards are very similar. Both cards indicate major intuition and trusting your gut. I want to take these two cards because they were sort of out. Ace of Swords and the Magician. So that is swift action on a manifestation here. And, you know, I would say really trust what you're feeling about this Ace of Wands energy, which is you starting a new journey, starting a new business, going in a new direction. I'd really, really trust what you feel about that situation, because it could be very good here, as we got this Ace of Swords and the Magician card indicating your ability to really manifest that for yourself. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next reading.